Hello everyone, my name is Frederick Lopez and today I'm going to rank my favorite Marvel Netflix TV shows, from least favorite to most favorite. So to start the list off, there's 6 Netflix shows from Marvel Studios that we have had. And to start the list at number 6 is Iron Fist. This is probably my least favorite show. It has so much potential, but for me, Danny Rand is kind of weak in this, and also the characterization from the comics is way off. In addition, you also have him not really being a martial arts expert. He fights, but the fighting is done in such a sloppy, choppy way in the show. And also, it borrows a lot from other shows and is kind of like an Arrow CW ripoff in a way of like, my name is Danny Rand and I was on an island for so many years. I don't know, but with the martial arts skills and everything being different from the comics, it's like if you saw a Green Arrow show and he couldn't shoot a bow and arrow. Like, it feels like that. It's the weakest of the Marvel Netflix shows. Now, is it the worst show ever? No, not entirely, but to me, it's my least favorite. I didn't really enjoy this. I didn't even complete it. It was that bad. And from the looks of it, and Defenders, he doesn't even have his Iron Fist costume yet, so I don't know, but it does have a lot of potential to improve with a different showrunner in season 2. And I really did grow more accustomed and warmed up to Danny Rand in the Defenders, so we'll have to see where it goes. Although I did like Madame Gao's presence in the show and the character of Colleen. Even though Rosario Dawson's character of Claire was a bit forced in this, she doesn't have to be in every show, but I did like Colleen in this and some other characters. And I do think that even though it's a miscast, I do think there is potential if there's better writing and just material given and more stunt work and basically training put to this character, this actor. I know he came on the show very late, but I feel like he can have a lot of potential, but it's my least favorite. Number 5 on the list is Jessica Jones. I actually really love Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, Mike Coulter as Luke Cage. They're so great together, and David Tennant as Kilgrave. This show, however, just suffers from pacing issues for me personally, and I don't like the supporting characters with the writing and acting. It is just bad and a step down from Kristen Ritter's Jessica Jones. I do like her roommate, though, who's a druggie who gets cleaned up later. I like some of the stuff they do with Luke Cage and his wife, and Jessica Jones being at the center of that, and Kilgrave manipulating everyone. However, with that amazing ability, all he wants is Jessica Jones' love, and he doesn't feel as threatening as he could be. There's certain moments of great dread, but overall, he's very weak in this, even though he is a very powerful villain. He's a Purple Man. He's a mutant, and he was in Daredevil comics, so, like, there's a lot more that they could have done with him, and for 13 episodes, it feels very long. I don't like filler episodes in other shows, but this show could have used some filler episodes to get some momentum going, because she's, like, still looking for Kilgrave, and it feels like nothing is happening. Other than that, though, it does have some really good moments in there, and I can't wait to see where Jessica Jones Season 2 goes. But for me personally, it's not up there with my other favorites. Number 4 on my list is Luke Cage. Luke Cage, I actually saw this and stopped halfway through the first episode. I couldn't get through it, and it's not anything bad with the story. It's the tone. It has that 70s kind of like blaxploitation type of feel to it. I love it. It's gritty. It's in Harlem. I love everything about it. It's very serious. And then you have characters like Shades and other people and other goons, and it feels like a Saturday morning cartoon. That kind of cheesy campiness did not jive with the grittiness of Luke Cage. However, though, after getting past the first couple of episodes, it does pick up. You have Cottonmouth. Mahershala Ali is fantastic in this show, and he really is underutilized. It's one thing that these shows have, and Marvel has a problem with in general, is the underutilization of villains, and really kind of doing away with really good villains and replacing them with weaker ones. Diamondback is in this, but I did like the actor. He was in Boardwalk Empire, and even though it is a bit more campy and different, not as threatening as Cottonmouth, Diamondback does provide a nice backdrop to Luke Cage's origins. Luke Cage finds a level of vulnerability, and I know a lot of people don't like the second half, it drops, but I kind of like the second half. It really builds momentum the further it goes along. My main beef with Luke Cage is a lot of his story was already told in Jessica Jones, so it was like familiar territory and not really progressing in the beginning. But I do like how they take their community back. Alfre Woodward has an amazing role in this. Also, you wonder, hey, he has all these powers, why doesn't he stop the bad guys? It's about having great power and great responsibility. He has his power, he just doesn't want to use it, and that's the whole theme of the show. And I really like that, because the further it goes along, he finds his purpose, and Luke Cage becomes the hero of not only Harlem, but one of the many heroes in New York City. I like this show. It's not the best, but I actually like it more than some other ones. It surprised me, considering I did not like it when I first saw it. I gave it a second chance, and I'm glad I did. Number 3 on my list is The Defenders. This is not as epic as it could have been, as it was advertised, but I still liked it for what it was. And I actually think that Danny Rand, the character of Iron Fist, should not have had his own show. He should have been introduced in The Defenders. I didn't like him. He still suffers from some of the same whining brattiness, getting his ass kicked, but you know what? He really grew on me the further the show goes along, so much to the point where I'm actually kind of looking forward to see where Iron Fist 2 picks up. Maybe he gets his suit this time. But I like the chemistry between them. I like how it balances all the different type of shows and identities of these characters into one program. Sigourney Weaver, though, was a bit underutilized as Alexandra. I do like Scott Glenn back as Stick. Elektra was a bit weak as a villain, but you know what? The second time I watched this, I actually liked it more than the first, even though certain moments felt longer. Again, it's better that it's 8 episodes instead of 13, but it still suffers from some pacing issues. Above all, though, you do get some great Daredevil moments, and it's nice to see where all these characters are in between their seasons. They need to make Daredevil Season 3 really fast. Above all, I wouldn't mind seeing another series of The Defenders. My main con with this is that not all the fighting is filmed very well. It's very shaky cam and choppy, and I really wish we got more scenes like the first part of the tunnel at the end or that hallway fight at Midland Center. That was awesome. On number 2 is Daredevil Season 2. It's arguably one of the best, most well-paced seasons out of the Marvel Netflix shows. I don't like it as much as Daredevil Season 1, but you know what? I rewatched the DVD, I rewatched it a couple of times, and it really does have a great pace. For 13 hours, for 13 episodes, it feels like 2 hours. However, the Punisher part at the beginning half of the season is much stronger than the Elektra portions, but I grew more to Elektra in this, the bloodlust the character has, the past of Matt Murdock, him basically in between Matt Murdock and Daredevil, and him sacrificing and damaging the life of Matt Murdock in wake of Daredevil and fighting the Hand. I didn't agree about Nobu and him fighting him again, but you do get Kingpin moments, Scott Glenn back as Stick, and a lot of stuff set up for Defenders, and it's sad because the Hand in this is actually a lot more threatening in this series than they were in the Defenders. Plus, John Bernthal as the Punisher is just awesome. My favorite Punisher since Thomas Jane's, and he gets his costume at the end. Overall, the stunts, everything feels top-notch, very cinematic. Who could forget that stairway fight with the biker gang? I mean, it is just great. The two ideologies of Daredevil and the Punisher, of him saying, like, you're a half measure, you don't get the job done. I just love everything about this season. While it may not be as strong as the first season of Daredevil, it is a solid entry and among one of the best Marvel Netflix shows, and I hope Season 3 continues a trend for Daredevil. And my number 1 spot is Daredevil Season 1. Yeah, nobody can get as good as Daredevil Season 1. Now, it does have slow moments towards the end of the show, especially with the Ben Urich character, but you know what? Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock Daredevil. You get a nod to Frank Miller days with a suit. And then he finally has his red suit. It took him really long to get his suit, and I wish he got it earlier. But you know what? The payoff was worth it at the end. Overall, a brilliant, gritty introduction to not only the Marvel Netflix universe, but Daredevil. This is the best version of Daredevil I've seen. It is straight from the comics onto the screen. I love everything about this season. I really wish they kept Steven S. DeKnight as a showrunner because he knows his shit and it just had a perfect pace. The quality was high quality with story, acting. The way it was shot, that freaking hallway fight scene is still among one of the best fight scenes. I mean, it is just phenomenal. And it is my favorite Marvel Studios Netflix show to this day. Daredevil Season 3 might get on there, who knows, but this is just a perfect isolated season. I just love everything about Daredevil. And he previously showrunned Spartacus, but also as a showrunner of Legend of the Seeker and some seasons of Smallville, so that explains a lot. Anyway, he was a great showrunner, and he really did things very well that the other shows just pale in comparison to. So Daredevil Season 1 is still to this day my favorite Marvel Netflix show. Anyway, that is just a personal ranking and my list of my favorite Marvel Netflix shows. Let me know in the comments below, what are your least favorite or most favorite Marvel Netflix shows? And yeah, if you liked the video, click the like button, comment, and subscribe for more videos.